Get the table, and you need at the very least 2 pillows. Year 1, yeah, I would be getting this. Okay, if this is this, then that's that, and that's attached to this, that. What? The brain comes out. Worth the investment. Hi there, my name's Jennifer and welcome to another episode of my midlife student life. In this week's video, I'm going to be sharing with you, the most effective study tools to be used in this program. And not specifically just talking about apps and online things, but I'm going to be talking about the tools that we use in this program. This video is especially for you if you're a year 1 student or you're someone considering the program and trying to decide, what to invest your money in. I'm going to tell you where to spend your money and where not to bother spending your money as you get started. The most valuable things are not necessarily the most expensive. So let's get into today's video. So I think the most obvious thing is you need a table. I'm going to talk about that first today because it's kind of really, this is what we're all about, is table work. We are manual therapists, or manual therapists in training. Find a table. They will recommend anything between that 22, 24 inch table. Some of the tables I've seen are, I think, 20, 21 inch. A narrow table is what we need in our practice because of the leverages that we use and the proximity to the patient for safety and accuracy. I didn't actually start with this table. In year 1, I was given a table for free. It was a massage table, and I think it was about 28 inches wide. I managed, but it was very cumbersome because I was constantly asking my patient to shift to one side of the table, shift to the other, scooch around. It probably even started to build in a few bad habits, I would think, from the beginning. So I would highly suggest year 2, I purchased this table. I've had it ever since. And this can actually take me right into my practice if I need it to. It's portable, and what I like about it is it's got a good size or a good thickness of cushion on top, but not too much, so it's comfortable for the patient. But you gotta remember, we have to get leverage off of this as well, and this is something that I find is a really, really good start. This one came with, and I believe this is the 24-inch table. And it came with a headrest. I do use this sometimes, but we don't have to use it all of the time because we're not always working in prone. It has adjustable legs for the height table. It's not adjustable on the fly, so once you've kind of set your height, then you're gonna have to, for the general rule is that when you're standing, it should be below where your hand is. And I actually have mine a few inches lower than that because I really like to be able to use my full body leverage and weight, and that's how I work safely and accurately. So that's what works for me. In addition to the table, you need pillows. I have 3 pillows that I use on a regular basis. These 2 I got through the school, and you can order them, but you can order pillows like this or online purchased or custom made. You might know somebody who makes them. I'm gonna probably get a few extras. The small square pillow we use most of the time for the head pillow. And then when we're working in lateral, we're using primarily this one. And you may find it's a double thickness pillow. You may find a larger or a smaller one is needed. And the third one that I purchased, you can use a pillow. Sometimes you have to support underneath the knees for some patients if they're laying on their backs. I really like this one. I purchased this one, and this one's actually been a really great size one to bolster and provide support right under the knees if someone's laying down, and then they can have the support they need. I have found that super helpful, great investment. This one's not 100% needed in the beginning. So if you're starting out, get the table, and you need at the very least 2 pillows, a small one and a big one. All right, item number 2 is what I'm sitting on, and that is the stool. The stool is really important for comfort, ease, and being able to move around in the room. Now, I first started, I had a chair that I just moved around, and that worked fine. In fact, beginning, I didn't sit hardly at all. And then I needed to get a stool. So I purchased one that has a back on it, has a lumbar rest, but I'll be honest, I never use it. I'm constantly perched And when I'm doing work, I typically am sitting straight and working in this direction. I'm not usually sitting back. But what I do like about this is I know where the back is, therefore I know where this is. The little handle that puts it up and down, which I do need all the time. And I hate trying to find it. So I primarily have this on the chair so that I can see where the handle is and adjustment is located. Now, in addition to the stool, it came with casters that were plasticky. They're very loud on my wood floor. They didn't sound very nice and they're distracting. They also were kind of rough in movement. So I actually bought these extra casters. So these are additional casters, and they have like a rubber outside. So they glide. Honestly, they glide and look like a rollerblade wheel. They spin really easily, and they're quiet and they're fantastic. This was another little additional but worth investment. I'd put that on the to-do list for maybe like year 2 or 3, not in the high priority things of what you have to get, but like nice to have. Another tool that you can invest in over time, potentially in your home, is a separate space for working. This space is my study space. It happens to also double as a waiting room for my teaching career, so I've already had this sort of as a public space set up, but it transforms itself into my clinic space when I'm practicing. So I have a place for people to sit. I've also purchased this tool this past year, and this just holds all of I've got my cleaning bottle up here, paper towel holder. So this keeps my space clean and tidy. I use it all the time. I didn't need to have this in year 1. This is not a high priority purchase. It's just more of a to get, again, maybe year 2, 3, or even into year 4 to treat yourself in your space. My space also includes a dedicated study spot and natural light, which for me is a priority. This is Arthur, in case you haven't met him before. Arthur is a very petite skeleton. I have a separate video, which I'm gonna get you to check out, that includes details about when I purchased this in year 1. I use Arthur all the time. What I love about his petite stature, doesn't mind me referring to that, is the fact that I'm doing exactly what I'm doing right now. There's many times I've needed a quick reference and I look over, he's on the floor, I can look over and see him, but I can also just grab him and put him in my lap. And I really like that because then I can have a quick look, okay, if this is this, then that's that, and that's attached to this, that might be going like this, and all of a sudden I get a real quick idea. It does not take up very much space in my somewhat small study room, so this has been invaluable. So I would definitely recommend getting a skeleton for sure. Get the cheapest one you want, and or the smaller one I think is actually a better option. Now the next model that I use, and I also discussed this one in that previous my first year video when I purchased this. It's a spine with the hips, and it just gives a portion, the upper portion of the femur bone. So what I will find is that sometimes Arthur's just a little too petite and he doesn't move in terms of the spinal region. So this guy moves. That's probably the biggest thing, is that as you're working through spinal mechanics and understanding your anatomy in this region, having something that does flex and move through learning and discussions, it is very valuable. So I have used this one a lot. Year 1, yeah, I would be getting this. Ta-da! Last but certainly not least, I have my organ mannequin. Now, I purchased this one used off of Kijiji, which I would highly recommend. Lots of graduates are not keeping all of these study materials. Look for things that are used and on sale. Anyways, this guy has been loved and has a few little challenges. His particular parts of his colon keep popping off. So what I like about this is it gives you a general idea of where things sit. That comes off, and then you can see inside here we have the heart and all of the organs or viscera of the abdomen. So yeah, I like this one for a good reference, especially when we get into year 3. Is the focus here for viscera work, and what? The brain comes out. Carefully. Come here, brain. I'll take part of it out. So again, not super detailed. You're going to learn a lot more from like Complete Anatomy, which is another tool I'll just reference super fast, because at this point, if you're on this video, you should know what Complete Anatomy is. If you're learning anatomy at all for any program, medical based, yeah, Complete Anatomy is sort of the place to be. My top priorities, quick summary: definitely pay a good money to get a good quality table that's the appropriate size for osteopathy. Invest in some pillows, those don't cost very much. Invest in some of the models, as many that you feel needed, but definitely start with at least a basic skeleton. I hope this was helpful if you're someone just getting started in the program, or you're in year 1. And if you have any questions about any other resources or tools, or whether they might be helpful or not, go ahead and put the question in comment section below. I'll be happy to answer it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So until then, stay strong, dig on, and keep studying.